welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing another cooking video and sharing 3 amazing slow cooker recipes. It is officially slow cooker season and I have been taking full advantage of using my crock pot on the regular. I feel like almost every week for all of October I've used my crock pot at least once and I'm just really falling back in love with it. So I really wanted to do a video that was all centered around slow cooker recipes, and I'm sure I'm going to be sharing a lot more slow cooker recipes in the future. So if you love your crock pot, if you love your slow cooker, make sure you hit the like button on this video, hit subscribe so you don't miss out on any future content. I would love to have you join my YouTube family. On my channel, I do cooking videos, I do grocery hauls, and I do some other miscellaneous lifestyle content, so I would love to have you join along. Today we're going to be starting with a soup, which is one of my favorite go-to meals during fall and winter, and I'm going to be sharing a loaded baked potato soup recipe. I originally saw this video actually on Mandy in the Makings YouTube channel, but I'm tweaking it a little bit, and this is actually my first time making, so we're kind of going to be experimenting together. But I feel like it's kind of hard to mess up loaded baked potato soup. I shouldn't say that, I'll jinx myself and I'll like ruin my recipe, but I have a good feeling about it. So with that, let's go ahead and jump into our first recipe. To start our soup, we are gonna start by throwing up our diced potatoes. I cut up about 6 large russet potatoes. Now with this recipe, it calls for golden potatoes. My store, our golden potatoes just didn't look like super great, so I went with russets, but I've made loaded potato soup with russets before and it works fine. Honestly, any kind of potato is perfectly fine. Bear with me. Let's see if I can do this any faster than what I'm doing right now. Hold on. I know I'm gonna make a mess if I try this, but we're gonna go for it. I think the official amount is like 3 pounds of potatoes. I did about like half my bag of potatoes, which is like 5 pounds, so should be right around that mark. Does anyone else think that like raw potatoes smell kind of funny? It's not my favorite. Okay, so next up, we're gonna go ahead and add our chicken broth. It calls for 6 cups. I'm gonna use this full container, which I think is about 4 cups. And if I need to add more, I will. I definitely think I'm gonna need to add more. Also, my slow cooker cooks real hot, so this liquid's probably gonna evaporate out of here. Okay, let me grab my other container, BRB. Second container, and honestly, I'm debating, I'm like, should I just do the full container? I'm just gonna do the full container. Hopefully we have enough potatoes to offset all this liquid. Again, I just would be mindful, like some slow cookers cook low, mine cooks real hot, so I think a lot of this liquid will soak into the potatoes and evaporate out. Now I'm gonna be adding my seasonings. I just added to this little black cup my parsley, 1 tablespoon, 1 teaspoon of salt, and then I'm gonna add some pepper, about a ½ teaspoon of pepper. So I just bought a new like container of loose ground pepper and I just opened it and the safety seal was like torn. So I still have my receipt, so I may return it, but I don't want to use it. Like, it's probably fine, but I don't know, guys. Would you use it? I'm like, I get very nervous about that kind of stuff. Comment below if you would use it. Lastly, we're going to add our minced garlic. I'm just using the jar. And I'm going to add... Oh, I get nervous with garlic. How about that? Does that look good? I think that's fine. All right. We're going to give this a stir. So this is going to cook on 4 hours on high. It is midday. It's like 1:42 p.m. So I'm like praying that this cooks in time. Really you just want your potatoes to get tender, which again, since my crock pot cooks pretty hot, I think we're going to be okay with that. All right, so I will check in with you all tonight, and then we're gonna go ahead and add in the rest of our good loaded potato ingredients. I almost forgot a very key ingredient, onion. So the recipe calls for 2 small onions. I have some onion that I chopped up a while ago and froze. It's definitely less than 2 onions, but I don't really feel like chopping any more vegetables, so we're just gonna use this. Okay, now it's going on high for 4 hours, for real this time. See you all tonight. So it's 4 hours later. The potatoes were cooked perfectly, so that worked on high. I went ahead and I pulled out about half the potatoes. Now this is where we start to experiment, and I'm not completely following the recipe. So in the recipe it says you can just immersion blend the potatoes and broth to mix everything up and smooth things out. However, I've made a potato soup recipe previously where you actually take out a portion of the potatoes, immersion blend them separately. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix in my Greek yogurt and sour cream to make it creamy. That way I can ensure that the soup, like when I put this mixture back in the pot, it's creamy. Because when I saw Mandy in the making make it on YouTube, she just like mashed the potatoes and her soup looked good, but it was just a little more brothy. So I think it just depends on your preference. Like if you want a thicker potato soup, you could do the extra step and separate the potatoes out, mash them, mix in the sour cream, yogurt stuff, either with an immersion blender or maybe just mash it and then mix it back in. The author of the recipe also said you could add heavy cream to the soup to make it thicker, or cornstarch slurry. We're gonna see where we land after I do this. And I also shredded up some sharp cheddar cheese. The recipe called for like 3 cups, 3.5. And then I also fried up some bacon that we're gonna top the soup with. So the Greek yogurt, I'm a little wary, guys. She says, like, she swears by the Greek yogurt and says put 1/2 cup in the potatoes, the potato soup. Normally I would skip this, but we do have Greek yogurt on hand that I need to use up, so I think we're gonna give it a shot. And then 1 1/3 cup of sour cream. So I just did my immersion blender and blended the potatoes and Greek yogurt and some of the sour cream together. I'm gonna mix this in and see how it goes. I wonder if I should have saved the immersion blender out to mix it together. Oh, possibly. Oops, I already put it in my sink. We'll see how this goes. This may not work like I wanted it to. Definitely wish I had saved my immersion blender out because I don't feel like washing it. I'm just gonna mash this up. And then we are going to add in our cheese, and hopefully that just thickens things up because now we got little bits of basically mashed potatoes in here. My husband ended up taking a phone call during this portion of the video, so I'm just doing a voiceover on top. So after I smoothed out the potatoes with my spoon, I added in all of my cheese. It was 3 cups of sharp cheddar, and I'm just mixing it in here. I will say I wanted it to be a touch thicker, so per the recipe, I did add a cornstarch slurry, which was about 4 tablespoons of cornstarch mixed with cold water. And then I put the lid back on and cooked it on low for 30 minutes, and then here's the final product. And I'm going to tell you all about this soup in the next clip. Okay, I look disheveled because it's the end of the night. It's like 9:30 and I'm about to get ready for bed. But before I did that, I had to let you guys know how the soup turned out. I was a little nervous that the texture and consistency wasn't going to be quite right. But after I did the immersion blender, mixed it all in, added the cornstarch, I let it simmer on low for 30 minutes. It thickened up a little bit. But Derek and I loved it. Derek loved it, and I actually made loaded baked potato soup probably like a month or 2 ago, a different recipe that was much thicker, which we really enjoyed, but he actually preferred this texture a little better. It was definitely a little more brothier, but we both liked it. It had really good flavor. There honestly isn't anything I would change about it. Like, as I was finishing it up, I was really like, ooh, did I mess this up? I don't know if it's gonna be good. It was perfect. Highly recommend. The Greek yogurt, couldn't even tell it was in it. Again, like, I guess it did its thing. It made it good because we really enjoyed it, but highly recommend the recipe. Make sure you try it out. I also think like the immersion blender may not 100% be necessary. So if you don't have one, I would just try literally mashing up your potatoes in the crock pot with like a potato masher, mixing in the sour cream Greek yogurt that way and trying it that way. Honestly, pretty easy. Made a ton of food. We have so much leftovers. Can't wait to eat it again tomorrow. Today I am making a white chicken chili. This is not a recipe I've made before. This is by the Fit Slow Cooker Queen. I have made her recipes before and they're so good. And this is actually my first chili of the fall, so I'm really excited. I honestly don't make white chicken chili a whole lot, so I'm looking forward to it. And especially her recipes, they're on the lighter side. A lot of fall dishes tend to be kind of heavy, but this is like, white chicken chili is one of those things where you can eat it, not feel guilty, but it's still got that cozy, comforting vibe to it. So I'm really excited. The ingredients are pretty minimal, pretty simple. I've already got 2 chicken breasts in here with about like a half of a white onion and a whole yellow bell pepper. You can use any bell pepper of your choice. I just salt and peppered the chicken breast when I put them in the crock pot. And then I'm just gonna dump the rest of this stuff in the crock pot. Super simple. You're gonna want some type of white bean. I do have to drain those. And I have my spices already mixed up down here. One modification that I am adding is adding about like half a cup of salsa verde. I have this partial chicken broth container that's probably got about 2 cups in it, and the recipe calls for 2.5. Instead of opening another chicken broth container, I kind of just want to stretch my liquid, and I'm going to do that by adding the salsa verde. I also think that's going to add a nice flavor to it as well. So that's the game plan. These are the ingredients you need. I'll link the recipe below so you all have that to reference for just the measurements and whatnot. And we're gonna go ahead and assemble this chili.
I've heard the rumor, I've heard the talk on the town. They say you're alone now. They say that you ain't sound. But I don't believe any of that. I've got a whole nother.
Okay, I'm gonna add a little bit more salsa verde than I originally planned. I have like 2/3 of a cup. I'm just gonna stir this in and see how it looks before I commit to it. Let's just see how we're doing. I just want to make sure there's enough liquid because I don't know. I want to be able to stretch this so we have leftovers for 2 nights. I'm just gonna go for it. Okay, so we're gonna cook this on low for 4 to 6 hours. My chicken breasts are like thawed out. I did defrost them, so just if your chicken is a little frozen, just make sure you cook it a little bit longer. This is one of those recipes that really can go in all day, and it already looks really good. Like the blend of spices and everything is looking really nice. So I'm anxious to try this and see how it is. So our white chicken chili is done. I did give it a taste. It tastes really, really good. I really love the flavors. Definitely recommend adding the salsa verde in because it does, in my opinion, add a really nice flavor. Don't think there's anything I change about it. It's really good. I did shred the chicken up and up on a plate and then put it back in the soup. Or are you scared of the ladle? What are you doing? Are you scared of the ladle? He does not like utensils. It's the funniest thing. So anyway, so we're having the soup. We're excited about that. It's really good. I also made these corn muffins on the side from Aldi. I've never tried this mix before, but they smell really good. They're over here. And then I'm just going to serve with some shredded pepper jack, maybe add some sour cream for feeling frisky. So that is everything. Let me know if you guys like white chicken chili, if you're going to be trying this recipe, if you tried it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and it's dinner time. I'm so excited to eat. Good morning, friends. I am about to throw dinner on for the day in the slow cooker, and I'm going to be making a recipe that's actually new to me, but somewhat familiar. And it's new to me in the sense that the steps that I'm taking to make this dinner, I've done in the past, but without the queso. So today we're making queso chicken tacos. So the first couple of steps, I've made slow cooker chicken tacos for years in the crock pot, like literally since college. But at the very end of this recipe, you add queso to the crock pot, and that just sounds so delicious. I literally was planning on making chicken tacos in the slow cooker, and then I found this recipe yesterday, and I literally went out just to get queso because I was like, I'm intrigued by this. I want to try it. So these are the ingredients you need, like very minimalist ingredient recipe. You need chicken breast. I'm just using 2. I've got some taco seasoning here. And then I've got some Rotel tomatoes. I am going to go ahead and finish off this jar of salsa also in the slow cooker, because this can of Rotels is from Aldi, and the ounces in their can of Rotels is a little on the lower side or smaller side. It's less ounces. Oh my gosh, I need caffeine. I'm dying. I cannot speak today. But it's a smaller can of Rotels. So just to add a little bit of extra, I'm going to finish off this partial jar of salsa we had in our fridge. Now, did I say this already? I don't know. The queso we're not going to add until later today. So I'm going to go ahead and put together our chicken breast in the slow cooker. I'll show you how to do that. And then later today we'll check in, we'll add the queso. I went ahead, I added the remaining salsa to this little measuring cup. I'm going to go ahead and add my Rotels. Also, I should mention, this is a very unnecessary step. When I make my slow cooker chicken tacos in the past, I always pre-mix the like Rotel and the taco seasoning before I pour it over the chicken. But this recipe actually just calls for you to like dump everything in the crock pot. I don't know, honestly. I should try it one day and not do it the way I've always done it. To see if it really makes a difference. But I don't know, in my head I just like pre-mixing it, because then I know that the seasoning is getting evenly mixed with the tomato mixture and everything. So I'm just mixing in the taco seasoning. You're gonna need 1 packet. I'm using my homemade taco seasoning that, to be honest, I actually stretched because I didn't have that much left and I need to make a new batch. But I just made chili seasoning over the weekend, so I added a little bit of chili seasoning. Close enough, right? And this might be more than a packet. I don't know. We're just gonna go crazy. Honestly, since we're gonna be, I feel like it always, the chicken cooks down, but there's always like a lot of liquid. So I feel like it's fine. I'm not afraid of seasoning. Okay. So that's pretty much it, and now we're just going to simply pour this over our chicken. I'm just pouring that Rotel taco seasoning mixture over these chicken breasts. And this is kind of honestly why I like pre-mixing it, because see, you can just literally, I know that the seasoning and the tomatoes are completely coating the chicken breast and gonna add all that extra flavor. So there's a method to my madness, guys. And this took me all of, I don't know, 5 minutes, maybe not even that long. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop the lid on this. This is gonna cook on low for 8 hours, or if you wanted, you could do it on high for 4 hours. It's the beginning of the day, so we're gonna do 8. And then I'll check back in later tonight when we're gonna add the queso. I need to look at the recipe again. I'm probably gonna add the queso, honestly, just like 30 minutes before we eat, just to really warm it up and incorporate everything. Chicken has been cooking all day, a full 8 hours, and this is the finished product. It smells amazing. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take the chicken out, I'm going to shred it, and I'm probably going to remove a good amount of the liquid before I add the queso in, just because I don't want it to be too watered down. I really want the chicken mixture to be pretty creamy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you guys out with this recipe with some B-roll. So I will show you the final product and I will let you know how it tastes. I'm so excited for this one. One more quick note is I just took out a bunch of the liquid in this pot and I put it in this bowl. I'm going to reserve the bowl. And I'm also going to take this slotted spoon and kind of like pull out like the chunks of tomatoes, you know what I mean? And put it back in the slow cooker, because I can always add some liquid back in, but I just want to see what the consistency is like when I add the cheese. I just don't want it to be too watery. I'm experimenting, guys. This is my first time making this, but yeah, I can't talk. Why is today the day I cannot speak? I just wanted to note that for you guys. Just, you might want to try that. I'll let you know what the finished product, how it ends up, and if I end up adding more liquid back in. Okay, here we go. Cue the music.
Yeah, I think there's a treasure waiting for someone to prove himself worthy or true. Yeah, like a dandelion, my love's
concludes today's slow cooker recipe video. I hope you all enjoyed, and I hope these are some recipes that you will give a try really soon. Again, this is just like the perfect time of year to be doing all the slow cooker cooking. It is probably my favorite kitchen gadget and just a must-have in my kitchen. If you enjoyed this video, I would love if you could give it a like. It really helps out my channel. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on future recipes from me, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye.